just to try to stay focused. Don't never let anything try to get you off your game plan. Maybe the devil or something. Trying to
coming out publicly. So now, a lot of people have something to say. Will the fight still go on? I have no idea. You get what I'm saying? Lamont Roach, you might need to make contingency plans or whatever.
Gervonta, that you found it out and said that he's innocent. When you got a track record of 4 or 5 DV cases, all proven guilty, bro, it gets to a point.
Following his recent arrest, Gervonta Davis has finally broken his silence, vowing to refocus on his boxing career. However, the highly anticipated rematch with Lamont Roach now hangs in the balance. While some supporters argue that Davis's celebrity status makes him an easy target for accusations, the uncertainty surrounding the situation is undeniable. With no official resolution yet, tensions continue to rise, casting serious doubt over the rematch. If the situation escalates, fans may have to face the reality that the bout could be called off entirely.
So this will be a violation of his probation. But he's a celebrity. Nothing's going to happen. It's going to get a slap on the wrist. He has money and stuff like that. Now, question I have is this: what's going to happen with the Lamont Roach rematch? Will that fight still go on? Do you get what I'm saying? Now, I don't expect Tank Davis fans to, they're going to brush it off like it ain't nothing, because that's what they do. They literally, a lot of them worship this guy. So, and I get it, I understand. However, will that fight still go on? That's probably why we haven't heard anything. I was listening to Blue Blood Sports TV, but then when I was listening to his video, guess what? I'm going to show y'all something. Now, some of y'all may say, oh, this is nothing. There's a podcaster that I watch all the time by the name of Ticket TV. I watch a lot of the big podcasts, right? I want y'all to see something. Y'all see this right here. Let me show y'all this. As you can see right here, Ticket TV is talking about this. And the title is this: Breaking News. Boxing superstar Gervonta Tank Davis arrested for beating up women.
The future of Gervonta Davis's upcoming bouts remains uncertain as his ongoing legal troubles cast doubt over potential matchups with Jake Paul and Lamont Roach. Though no official cancellations have been made, the growing instability is raising serious concerns among promoters, fans, and broadcasters alike. Major boxing events thrive on precise timing, coordination, and momentum, and any legal setback threatens to disrupt that delicate balance. From negotiations and marketing pushes to meticulously planned training camps, everything is synchronized. Even a brief delay could undermine both the commercial appeal and competitive integrity of these high-stakes showdowns.
Couldn't come at a worse time for Tank. Of course, he's chasing that rematch with Lamont Roach, and that big money Netflix fight with Paul. And this case could potentially cancel both of these fights. For the Roach rematch, it's just kind of been assumed that this fight is happening in mid-August. Everyone has seemed to acknowledge that it's happening, yet there's been no official announcements. Why has there been no official announcement? Well, maybe they were/are waiting to see what happens with the case. They have known that this was gonna probably come out for the last month, so maybe they were either bracing for impact or hoping it could be all sorted out. But we're now about a month out from the proposed rematch, and time is running out. Every day that goes by, it looks less and less likely. Today certainly won't instill any hope. Even if the rematch does happen, the conditions are about as bad as they can get for Tank. In what might be the highest pressure fight of his career, he won't have a complete camp and would have legal proceedings hanging over his head. Combine this with the fact that he seemed to be rattled and emotional after the draw. A combination for a great performance, or a combination for an absolute train crash.
With each passing day, the likelihood of Gervonta Davis stepping into the ring on schedule continues to diminish. The stakes are especially high. His rematch with Lamont Roach carries emotional weight due to their unfinished business, while a bout with Jake Paul promises massive exposure and financial reward, attracting both traditional boxing fans and crossover audiences. As the legal situation unfolds, event organizers are bracing for all possibilities, from delays to full cancellations. For Davis, the consequences go far beyond these individual fights. A prolonged setback could derail his momentum, impact his rankings, and disrupt his competitive edge. The entire boxing world is watching closely, hoping for answers before these key opportunities slip through his fingers.
Train crash. And Tank especially needed this rematch to be able to get that Jake Paul fight. The Jake fight was seemingly signed and sealed, and all he had to do was beat Roach. And after he didn't, it was pushed back until he could. Jake in the meanwhile opting for Chavez. Paul versus Tank is a fight that doesn't make too much sense on paper. But when you break down the circumstances around it, it kinda does make more sense. It would be another fight like Mayweather versus Logan. It's the biggest money fight and the biggest eye-drawing fight Tank can currently get. And for him, even with the size difference, he would probably see it as a pretty easy night's work. And with all this, before the news broke today, there was a rumour in about the last week going around that they might be potentially skipping the Roach rematch and going straight to Paul. I wouldn't be surprised if that's still somewhat in the plans.
In the lead-up to the current controversy, a heated online exchange between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach stirred further speculation about a potential rematch. Their social media back and forth revealed clear tension. Roach came out swinging with bold, confident remarks, while Davis offered more cryptic, indirect responses. This contrast led some fans to believe Davis might be disinterested or reluctant to face Roach again. Others, however, see it as a reflection of the personal stress Davis is navigating. Regardless of interpretation, public exchanges like these often shape the narrative, influencing how fans and analysts perceive a fighter's mindset and intentions.
Davis cancels the rematch with Lamont Roach. Lamont Roach posted, laugh out loud, buddy knows damn well I don't mess around like that. He gassing y'all up to justify why he ain't do his part of the deal yet. He really might pull out of this fight. Stay tuned. Gervonta Davis responded with, "You a beat. I can meet you at your school, son, if you want." That got nothing to do with boxing. We're talking about the fight that's supposed to be happening, the rematch, you feel me? And he want to respond about meeting you up outside, meeting you up at your son's school. That's confusing, my people, so it makes me feel like this might be true. Like, if it wasn't true, Gervonta Davis would have said, "Yo, what are you talking about? The fight's still on. You getting knocked out." Not start trying to talk street. You feel me, my people? Let me know how you feel about this. Do you think like Lamont Roach feel like letting the cat out the bag? Like, yo, my people, Gervonta Davis might pull out of the fight. He's gassing y'all up and trying to start outside beef, but this is the truth. And if Gervonta Davis wasn't gonna call out the fight, then he would have said, "Yo, that's a lie. Now I'm knocking him out, my people." You feel me? And then after this, Gervonta Davis also posted, "Yo, y'all take the #1 spot. I don't care for boxing no more, my people." Pretty much saying like, yo, don't get Lamont Roach, because the next person that's behind him is Lamont Roach, because Lamont Roach just has a draw with him that everybody feels like he beat him, you feel me? Like Gervonta Davis before this, he was untouchable. Everybody felt like he was unbeatable. Nobody was going to beat Gervonta Davis. Whoever got in there is getting knocked out. And now that all switched. Once he got that draw with Lamont Roach, you feel me? And after all this, Gervonta Davis also was saying like, "Yo, we know where you live. We'll pull up to your house. We know where you live in Marlboro." You know what I'm saying? I don't get it, my people. Like, if we talking boxing, let's keep it boxing. But he's talking street out of nowhere, and that's what makes me feel like he probably is going to call out the fight. Because if it wasn't, he would have said he's not.
Supporters of Gervonta Davis recognize that he's facing one of the most demanding chapters of his career. As an elite athlete, he's expected to maintain peak performance while managing the intense spotlight, personal responsibilities, and mounting public scrutiny. Striking a balance between staying sharp in the ring and emotionally grounded outside of it is a challenge many fighters endure, but for Davis, the stakes are even higher due to his prominence and influence. Fans and boxing experts alike agree, Davis's mental resilience must match his physical skill now more than ever. Without a healthy way to handle the stress, his performance, and ultimately his career longevity, could suffer. There's a growing call for him to seek the right support system, whether that means mentorship, professional counseling, or re-evaluating the people in his corner. His raw talent has never been in doubt. But how he manages this critical period will determine whether he continues his ascent or faces a major setback. For now, many are hoping he can refocus, channel his energy wisely, and reclaim his path as a disciplined and composed athlete.
Now, Gervonta, you better have that same energy when you get into that ring for this rematch with Lamont. Because I'm getting so tired of hearing about these DV charges you keep catching. So apparently Gervonta Davis has been arrested for another DV case. I think this is about his 3rd or 4th one now, probably more than that. To be honest, this don't really shock me. Because y'all remember when he was dating Ari and they had got into a real bed and he pulled her wig off in the middle of the street, right? That incident was all over the internet. And fast forward, there was another incident that happened back in 2022 with another baby mama, where she claims that she was in the car and things got got really rough between them and she made a frantic call to 911, which she should not have made, she claims. And also said that Gervonta did not hurt her or her daughter. So why did you call the police? It's giving, I'm not mad no more, and at the end of the day, that's my baby daddy. So let me go ahead and scrap this up, clear up this rumor so nothing else goes any further with this. I really don't understand what be going on with men putting their hands on people. It's like, even if you want to give Gervonta the benefit of the doubt and say that he's innocent, when you got track record of 4 or 5 DV cases, all proven guilty, bro, it gets to a point. Don't you blow off enough steam in the ring? And this is really disappointing for Gervonta, because it's like, do you want to throw away your career? You're literally #1 right now. You've been #1. You probably will stay #1 as long as you keep doing what you're doing. Because as many people I see it unfold, it seems like Lamont Roach was his only real competition. Rematch on the way, by the way. Really big fight. He got to be there for that. I don't know what he's going through, and maybe it's just me, but I do feel like ever since that fight with Lamont Roach, he's been off lately. He ain't been on social media as much. Now he's going back to his ways like this. Somebody need to go check on that man. Y'all know what they say about boxers and the things that it does to the brain.
The first clash between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach ended in a controversial draw that left fans and analysts deeply divided. Ever since, there's been a steady demand for a rematch to bring closure to a bout that many feel lacked a definitive outcome. For Davis, walking away now would mean leaving a key chapter of his otherwise stellar career unresolved. Despite his major victories and solid reputation, the Roach draw remains a blemish that still surfaces in discussions about his legacy. A conclusive rematch wouldn't just satisfy the fans, it would reaffirm Davis's standing among boxing's elite. History has shown that true champions confront unfinished business head-on, proving their greatness through clear, decisive wins. With his talent, influence, and massive platform, Davis is in the perfect position to reclaim control of the narrative. Stepping back into the ring with Roach and emerging victorious could not only silence doubts but also solidify his legacy as a fighter who never backs down from a challenge, no matter how controversial or high the stakes.
August 16th, Lamont Roach, Tank Davis in Vegas. First and foremost, I've never seen somebody celebrate a draw so much in my entire life. My man went on a press tour saying he got the best version of Tank. Tank has no power. He has minimum skill. And it just made it seem like he was a cakewalk almost. One thing we do know, we see a lot of Lamont Roach and very little Tank, which is telling me somebody locked in and somebody's not. Lamont need to worry about putting the beer down and getting in the gym. Because I haven't seen Tank since that fight ended. It lets me know he wants this rematch really, really bad, which means he's not coming to play around. Did he make a lot of mistakes in that last fight? Absolutely. Did he let you hang around too long? Absolutely. Did Lamont Roach show that he could take Tank's power? Absolutely. But we also know who looked like what at the end of the fight. If Tank shows up the same way he showed up in the last fight, Lamont, you may have a chance. 100%. If Tank actually turns on the heat in the beginning of the fight versus filling you out for the first 4 or 5 rounds, knockout in 6. But we're going to stay close to everything. We're going to watch some of the press runs and stuff like that, and we're going to see what type of Tank is going to show up. Because one thing we do know is he was very uninterested in this whole ordeal. But it was very, very bad on Tank's part to actually have somebody move up who we had no clue about to hang around. That is what made Tank look so bad. It wasn't the fact that he had a draw in the fashion that he did. It was the fact that he was supposed to clean you up because he didn't know you. So congrats to you for doing what you did and showing up that night. But the stuff you've been saying, it's just been like, all right, bro, remember, it was a draw. It was a draw. But what do y'all think? Who do y'all have